Hello everybody. Can you all see my screen? I've shared it. Okay. I'll start with my presentation. Let me know if you can't see my screen. Okay, I'll start with my presentation then. Thank you for having us here today. And it's a great honor to be presenting at STC 2020 conference. Hello everyone, I'm Spurti Gadar, working as lead QA engineer in Software AG. Here I'm joined with my team, Sanjan Bora and Saurabh Shukla. And today's topic mainly emphasis on winning that customer confidence, how to increase the loyalty and making that strong customer relationship with our customer. So how can we achieve this and why it is important? Let's see as I take you through my slides. So let's get started. In today's competitive world, most of the organization, in fact every organization, are stressing more on customer retention tactics. So it is very important because it takes years to have a customer, but it takes seconds to lose one. Reduce the churn, increase the visibility, and improve the product adaptation. So when the customer are happy with our services, they come back to us asking more and more. So it has impact on the company's financial growth as well. So ours being a product company, we started ourselves by asking this question: are our customers confident? Because we wanted to know if our customers are confident, it has a profound impact on our financial health, and it kinds of build a strong relationship with our customer, and the brand that it creates in the market is very much important and essential also. Next thing is like we wanted to know, is customer loyalty important? Yes, the loyalty is important because the if we want to sell any perspective to the customer, uh, it for the existing customer, if we want to sell the new prospect, it is around 60 to 70 percentage of the adaptability. The customer who are already with us, they adopt very quickly, whereas for the new customer, selling the new prospect is 5 to 20 percentage. So you can see the gap here. So customer retention and winning that customer loyalty is very important, as I say here. Now that I have talked about customer confidence and loyalty, let's understand how to gain the customer confidence. See, like if whatever we give more surveys, or whatever it is, the customer expect more than we give. But from our side, it should be like there should not be any stone which is untouched or unturned. So, in order to give that exceptional customer services, we need to consider certain things here. That is, reduce the delay in answering the customer issues and solving their questions or something like that, and have that gap analytics. So if there is a gap between customer expectations and the delivered quality, then a customer lose confidence in our product and services. And also we need to keep the customer posted regarding the surveys they are requesting for, and give them the total attention, and also ask them the feedback. So this feedback can act as the data for our future analysis. So asking the feedback is must. Now, I've talked about the confidence and gaining the confidence, loyalty. Now, let's see how do we increase the relationship with our customers with the relationship drivers. So, what are these relationship drivers? The relationship drivers drive the relationship with our customers with the relationship quality, the quality at which the customers are serviced. Contact density is a number of relational ties the customer has with our organization. And once we know the relational ties, it helps us to make the decision making capabilities out of these relational ties. That is nothing but the contact authorities. So we can come up with many strategies to improve such relational ties with our customer and the superior ones. And the service sufficiency is the driver which drives the how efficiently our customers are serviced at any given point of time. So that is also very much important thing to know to improve the customer relationship. And the customer interaction and customer engagement is driven by the relationship marketing. So once we collect the data out of all of these relationship driver, we go ahead and building the value-based model. So in my next slide, I will talk more on the value-based model. How are we going to derive that, and what are the functions it provides us in terms of tool. So what is the value-based model? Value-based model is the model which helps us to give the comprehensive view about our customer. So this model, it should be such a way that it can be used by all the people in the organization, be it from the top level to the lower level. Top level is the sense the CPO, COO, CEO, everyone can use this. And also the marketing people can use this to understand the new market trends and the risks. And the management, in order to derive the action items to deliver the outcome our customers are expecting, which is also very much important in terms of reducing that gap between the customer perceived quality and what is being delivered. Now that I have talked about the value-based model, let's see what is there in the value-based model that we can take from this in terms of the tool. So when we developed a tool, we have thought of giving a landing page so that at any given point of time, anybody should be able to understand how our customers are feeling in terms of our quality, in terms of our service, in terms of their requirement. So give a customer health in terms of scoring dimensions like this one. Whenever marketing executives or the CEO of the company comes here, it is welcomed with a landing page which gives the insights about our overall health of our customer. Apart from this, provide the 360 layouts. So once we collect the data from multiple sources, we go in for giving the 360 layout about the customer health and the customer feeling, like this one. Now, coming to the focus on the qualities, having known about overall customer feelings and customer health, it is very important to know how each of our customers are how each of our customers are feeling in terms of quality and their pain points. Are we addressing those pain points? Are we with them? So those are the important things to derive the insights from and work upon. So we go in for collecting the customer data and placing it in the central repository. So once we place the data in the central repository, we can query that data. So this queried data can provide the insights about the customer quality. So what it helps in? It helps in empowering the team with a single source of truth about every customer, because every customer need to be treated well, and total attention has to be given to every customer. So that is where this particular thing comes from. And cross-functional team can work together and derive the action items that deliver the outcome that customer craves for. Also, it helps in the management to take a quick decision and act fast ways. So how are we deriving these customer qualities, customer values? I mean, so it is like what are the input we are giving to our value-based model, and what are we deriving out of it is the main thing that I'll be presenting in this slide. Ours being the product-based company, we have to deal with many customers with regards to the many products. So each of these products, like many products, might fall in the single product line. So we categorize them based on the product line. So once we select the product line for that category of the product, and we go in and enabling the project type. Project type is cloud or the on-premises. So issues can be seen in the cloud and the on-premises. We have differentiated both of them. So this will be the input to our value-based model. So what once we give the input to this value-based model, what will be the output like? So output will be like it gives the insight on year, how are we improving? Are we improving? Do we have to take any measures in reducing the customer issues? So those are the insights. And what are the issues that are leaking? What are the areas that where the issues are leaking in our customer front? Also, who are the top customers who are facing the quality issues? So these are the some of the insights we get from the value based model. So this will be the output that I was talking in my last slide. So these are the issues that have been raised year wise. So it will give you the clear picture on where do we stand this year and the last year. And it is also important to know the average of the incident for that product, selected product. So this is 2019 and this is 2018. So this is the yearly monthly average. So month wise, we can see where what is the average about the incident. So this is a one more representation about the incident that I wanted to put it up here. Also, there is a number of incident month wise. This was the average, what I have shown here, and this is a month wise. We can come to know where are we. So this is 2020 till August is the data I have collected, and this is the 2019 data representation. So we know last year during month of August, what was the incident rate, and this year, so this year, what is the incident rate? Okay, coming to the Pareto analysis, I'm sure most of us know what is Pareto analysis, but for some of them, for whom the term seems to be new, Pareto analysis is the analysis that gives what are the 20% of services or the areas that we need to really concentrate to remove the 80% of customer issues. So we went in by analyzing the what are those 20% of products at any given point of time that we have to concentrate so that we can reduce the 80% of customer incidents. So this is the Pareto analysis product wise. So these are the different products. Now it is also important to know for selected product, what is the areas that we need to work upon to reduce the 80% of customer incidents, right? So for if we have selected a product, and if we from the Pareto analysis, we see that there is a lack of information in the question that is leaking the customer incident, then we need to go and work on the documentation part, and or else we need to go and work on the educating the customer to how to use our product. So from here we can derive the meaningful actions and work upon them without wasting any time, understanding where we have to work upon. Okay, having told about our tool, the implementation wise, this can be built manually also. So as I mentioned, the data can be kept at the central repositories. Use that data into the Excel sheet, and then with using the Excel capabilities, we can derive the desired graph manually. Also use any front-end language and with the support of the back-end language Python or Java, and we can use any database for querying the data. These graphs can be dynamically created. For our implementation purpose, we have used Angular as a front-end tool and Python Flask as a backend, and then for MongoDB as a querying database, we have implemented this tool. So this is about the implementation part of the value-based model. Coming to the future enhancement, yes, we have thought about enhancing this tool for going forward. The first thing which came up to our mind was like, uh, before even customer asks for any service, it would be good if we service them before they ask for. So if the customer comes with their pain points or any suggestions, thanks to the data that we have collected in past, and then the CRM executives, if they know what customer is really expecting, so they can anticipate their next question, and we should be able to deliver it them before they face it or before even actually they ask us. So this is what is a one thing we can predict what customer is expecting and fix the issue before it occurs, and we can better take care of them. So this is the first one we thought of adding as an enhancement to our value-based model. The next one is the sentimental analysis. So all of us know this is very much important because our customer, they talk in the social media rather than directly to us. And if at all, if they are angry, so they uh, leave us without saying any word. So it is very much important to know what customer is feeling, what is their pain point about the our products, the technical difficulties they are experiencing. So if we know about the customer data from the textual analysis in the social media, we can get the insights into the trends. Where are we in the market? Also, the organization can address and resolve the issues quickly. So this is the sentimental analysis, which is also very much important to add into our tool is what we felt. So this is the second thing which goes as a feature enhancement to our tool. So this is a favorite topic of many of us, I'm sure. We should be knowing better return on investment. Especially the sales teams, they have to come up with different marketing strategies. So this can be achieved by segmenting your customer base as per the region. So when we segmentize the customer as per the region, we know what customers are expecting, what are their needs and wants in the market. So the sales team can rightly invest these marketing resources towards the right audience. And also we can prioritize the upcoming projects as per the customer needs. So this is a one more feature enhancement. And then the last one we wanted to add is the having the predictive model. So using the predictive model, we can prioritize our customer. Way that if the customer had been the hot customer, there had been many escalations from that customer. Whenever they raise an incident related to any service or the quality or the product enhancement, so that customer incident may be labeled with customer may escalate, and quickly prioritize that customer and going for servicing them in the better way and better taking care of them in a better way. So this is a one more predictive model that can be added to the value-based model. And also we can predict what customer is deciding based upon his past history. So we can understand what is a customer decision. So based upon that, the predictive model can be built, and we can work towards the customer retention. So these are the some of the enhancement which we wanted to add. There, I'm sure this list is never ending, but as of now, we thought of adding these enhancements to make our tool very efficient and have a ML and AI things integrated into that and be useful to everyone in the organization. So we have created a quick walkthrough into our tool as a demo. So I'll start with my demo. Okay, so this is the display of our tool. So this shows the number of incidents and uh, month-wise what are the incident rate is there, like what are the issues we have faced. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll just show you my demo recording. So this shows the number of issues that we have raised in year-wise, and this is the yearly monthly trend number of issues divided by 12. So this gives the monthly average. And this is the number of issues month-wise trend. So this is the representation, and here we have considered the restaurant service based upon the customer feedback. So here we know that two areas that we need to concentrate here in order to reduce the 80% problems are overpriced or the small portions. So if we work upon this, we can have the money customers walking into the restaurant. So this is the Pareto analysis that I was mentioning in my slides. And this is the month-wise, what is the data, what is the incident rate. So we can have the comparison, monthly, yearly, monthly comparison. So this is the one more representation which I wanted to mention. So this is a short demo that I wanted to show here. Okay, so here I end my presentation. Thank you for listening to my topic. We can open this forum for the questions. Any questions?
Yeah, hi, hello everyone. So we see a couple of questions in the chat. So they are saying like, can you please let us know what kind of product which you followed this process? Okay, so we are into the middleware products. So we are both concentrating on on-prem as well as on cloud products. So we have a diverse range of products and components. So we are actually following this process for each of the product lines that we are working on in our organization. So it is similar to something that we call NPS. Not sure if you're, yes, it is similar to the Net Promoter Score. Actually, it enhances to the Next Promoter Score only, Net Promoter Score only. So these are some of the things which will help us reduce the NPS. So on based on the incident rate and the response to this kind of incidents, we will come to know about how we have progressed in our NPS evaluation. So right now we can see only these two questions. Are there any other questions? Okay, I guess not. Yep, yeah. Yes, Spooty, I think you can summarize it and we can end this. Thank you so much for listening. Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. To summarize, organization can benefit from the customer data, as we have also heard from Anjali, the speaker. So we can make use of this data and better service the customer. So that was the whole point of this presentation. Thank you for listening and have a great day.